Looking young and looking desperate are two completely different things. There is a harsh reality that most men over 40 refuse to face. When you dress like your teenage son, you don't actually reclaim your youth. You simply broadcast a midlife crisis to the entire world. You aren't becoming more active or modern. You are becoming invisible, losing the hard-earned authority that took you decades to build. Welcome to the Prime Style 40 Plus. Today, we are ending the game of hide-and-seek with your age. We are moving past the loud logos and the ill-fitting trends of the youth and stepping into a system of visual power. In this masterclass, I'm going to show you why your current wardrobe is stealing your respect and how to fix it using a strategic 10-piece capsule system. We're not just talking about clothes. We're talking about the physics of prestige. It's time to stop being a background character and start dressing like the man you've worked your entire life to become. Welcome back to the second pillar of our Masterclass series, the 10-piece capsule wardrobe, Build Authority for Life. In our previous session, we identified the 10 essential components of the modern leader's armor. We discussed the what, but today, we are going to dive deep into the how and the why. Most men over 40 make the fundamental mistake of believing that style is a subjective matter of taste or fashion. They think it's about following a trend or buying the most expensive label. If that were true, every millionaire would look powerful. But we all know that isn't the case. You've seen them, the men with $10,000 watches and designer tracksuits who still look invisible, or worse, like they're trying too hard to be noticed. True style for a man in the prime of his life isn't an art form, it's a science. It is governed by the laws of physics, the principles of structural engineering, and the deep-seated biological triggers of social hierarchy. We aren't just getting dressed. We are manipulating how the human brain perceives status, reliability, and power. Today, we are going to dismantle the three foundational pillars of visual authority: the physics of light, the engineering of structure, and the foundation of grounding. By the end of this session, you will never look at a piece of fabric the same way again. Let's begin with the most overlooked element of masculine style: light. As we cross the threshold of 40, our biology undergoes subtle but significant changes. Our skin loses a fraction of its natural luminosity. The micro shadows under our eyes become a bit deeper. Our complexion, once vibrant, can begin to look matte or fatigued. This is the natural progression of a life lived with intensity. Now, look at the average man's wardrobe. It is dominated by black, dark gray, and charcoal. While these are safe colors, they are absorptive colors. They drink light. When you wear a flat black t-shirt or a dark, oversized hoodie, you are creating a light vacuum directly under your chin. This is a tactical disaster. Those dark shadows from the fabric bleed upward onto your face, emphasizing every wrinkle and every sign of a long night at the office. You don't look edgy, you look like you're fading into the background. This is where the Cream Knit Polo changes the game. Why cream and not stark white? Stark white is high contrast. It can look clinical or harsh against mature skin. But cream, specifically in a high-quality merino wool or silk cashmere blend, is a warm, reflective color. In the film industry, cinematographers use bounce boards to reflect soft light back onto an actor's face to hide imperfections and create a heroic glow. When you wear a cream polo, you are wearing a portable bounce board. That warm light reflects off the fabric and onto your jawline, neutralizing the shadows under your eyes and giving your face what I call the prosperous glow. You look rested. You look healthy. You look like a man who has already won. But it's not just about the color. It's about the texture. A cheap, flat cotton shirt has no depth. It's a dead surface. But a knitted garment has a three-dimensional landscape of fibers. The way the light interacts with the peaks and valleys of a merino knit creates a subtle shadow play that signals luxury. In the world of quiet luxury, texture is the secret language of the elite. It says, I don't need to shout to be seen. My quality speaks for me. Now, let's talk about structure, specifically the architecture of your silhouette. There's a tragic trend among men over 40, what I call the baggy costume. We've all seen it. A man gains a few pounds or feels his body isn't as tight as it was at 25, so he tries to hide it under oversized hoodies, baggy jeans, and unstructured jackets. This is a fundamental failure of engineering. Baggy clothes do not hide a dad bod, they amplify it. They create what is known as a box silhouette. A box has no direction, it has no movement. It signals a lack of discipline and a lack of self-respect. Authority in the masculine form is defined by one geometric shape, the inverted triangle. Wide shoulders, a strong chest, and a tapered waist. This is the biological blueprint of a leader. It is the silhouette of a man who can protect, provide, and prevail. The Navy Hopsack Blazer is the single most powerful tool in your engineering kit to achieve this. A blazer is not just a piece of clothing, it's a structural support system. Inside a high-quality blazer, you have canvas and padding. These aren't there for comfort, they're there for architecture. The shoulder pads extend your natural frame, creating a sharp, horizontal line that commands the room. The canvas layers smooth out your midsection, creating a disciplined, clean profile that masks imperfections. When you put on a structured blazer, your posture changes. You stand taller. You aren't just wearing a jacket, you are stepping into a suit of armor that projects absolute stability. And why Hopsack? Most men make the mistake of wearing a suit jacket as a separate blazer. You can always tell. The fabric is too smooth and too shiny. A suit jacket is for a funeral or a court date. Hopsack is different. It features a coarse, open basket weave that has a matte finish. It is breathable and durable. It tells the world that you are a sovereign man. You are formal enough to be respected, but relaxed enough to be in total control. It is the ultimate garment for the man who doesn't follow the rules. He sets them. We must also talk about the foundation. Everything we've discussed, the glow and the structure, is built upon what is happening from your waist down. Gentlemen, we need to have a serious conversation about the tragedy of distressed denim. There is nothing more damaging to a 45-year-old man's authority than wearing jeans with fake rips, bleach stains, and frayed edges. Why? Because those garments are the uniform of chaos. They are the clothes of someone who is still trying to be a rebel without a cause. They are noisy and they completely destroy your grounding. Grounding is the visual sense that a man is unshakable. It is the feeling that he has weight, roots, and a solid foundation. This is why we choose charcoal wool trousers. Charcoal is the anchor of the masculine palette. It is a serious color. Unlike blue jeans, which shift and fade, charcoal wool is consistent. It provides a matte, unbroken vertical line that stretches from your waist to your shoes. This line doesn't just make you look taller, it makes you look composed. Wool drapes where denim bunches. When you wear a high-quality wool trouser, you are signaling that you are a man of foundation. You look like someone who isn't swayed by the winds of fashion. You look like a man who can hold his ground in a boardroom or a crisis. You can own the finest Hopsack blazer in the world, but if you ignore the tailored fit, you have failed the mission. In the world of the elite, there is a 1% secret. The difference between a man who looks like he owns the building and a man who looks like he's visiting the building is exactly 1 inch of fabric. Most men are walking around in clothes that are at least one size too large. They are afraid of tightness, so they choose emptiness. But emptiness in a garment signals emptiness in the man. A leader's clothes should never cling, but they must skim. The tailored fit is the final signature of precision. It tells the world that you are a man who cares about the details. If you are meticulous about the half-inch of shirt cuff showing from your blazer sleeve, or the exact point where your trousers hit your loafers, then you must be just as meticulous about your business strategy and your investments. Your style is a silent resume. It is proof of your discipline. When you take the time to visit a tailor, you are telling the world that you are worth the investment. And if you don't value yourself enough to ensure your clothes fit perfectly, why should anyone else value your time or your expertise? This isn't just about looking better. It's about the psychological ROI. When you master the holy trinity of the 10-piece capsule, the glow, the structure, and the grounding, a fundamental shift occurs in your neurochemistry. You stop walking into rooms hoping for approval. You start walking into rooms expecting results. When you are no longer worried about whether your shirt is wrinkled or your pants are too baggy, you reclaim a massive amount of mental bandwidth. You can focus 100% on the person in front of you. You can listen more deeply. You can speak more clearly. The decision fatigue of looking at a cluttered closet full of bad decisions is gone. Every morning, you put on your armor and you step out into the world with absolute clarity. This is the true power of the 10-piece system. It isn't just a wardrobe. It's an authority operating system. We have analyzed the science. We have understood the light, the structure, and the grounding. You now possess the why behind every item in your 10-piece capsule. But owning the tools is only the beginning. In the next part of this masterclass, we're going to dive into the modular math. I'm going to show you how these 10 specific pieces can be rotated to create 30 distinct, high-status looks for every environment you will ever face, from the high-stakes boardroom to the elite weekend getaway. For now, I have a challenge for you. Go to your closet. Look at every item through the lens of the 3 pillars. Ask yourself, is this adding to my structure, or is it creating chaos? Is this reflecting light, or is it stealing my energy? It's time to stop being a background character in your own story. It's time to stop dressing for the boy you were and start dressing for the man you are. Stay sharp, stay intentional, and I will see you in part 3. Gentlemen, we have analyzed the science. We have understood the physics of light, the engineering of structure, and the absolute necessity of grounding. You now possess the blueprint. But having the tools is only half the battle. The final and most important step is a shift in your mindset. It is time to accept a hard truth. Style after 40 is not about vanity. It is about legacy. Every time you step out of your door, you are telling a story. You are either telling the story of a man who is desperately chasing a youth that has already passed, or you are telling the story of a leader who has arrived. You are either a background character in the chaos of trends, or you are the protagonist of your own life. You have spent decades building your career, protecting your family, and earning your seat at the table. Why would you allow a cheap hoodie or a pair of messy jeans to sabotage that authority in the first 7 seconds of an encounter? Your son wears clothes to find his identity. You wear clothes because you already know exactly who you are. This 10-piece system, the Navy Hopsack, the Cream Knit, the Charcoal Wool, this isn't just a wardrobe, it is an authority operating system. It is designed to reclaim your mental bandwidth. When you stop worrying about what to wear, you start focusing on what to achieve. You stop hoping for respect, and you start commanding it through your sheer presence. Remember, a man's legacy is not just what he leaves behind. It is how he carries himself today. It is the discipline you show in the details. It is the self-respect you project through a perfect, tailored fit. It is the intentionality you bring to every room you enter. So, I have one final challenge for you. Stop dressing for the boy you were. Start dressing for the man you have become. Go to your closet, remove the noise, and embrace the power of the permanent. The prime style is not about being the youngest man in the room. It's about being the most influential one. Thank you for joining this masterclass. Your evolution doesn't end here. It's only the beginning. Stay sharp, stay intentional, and go out there and lead. I'll see you in the next evolution.